What is up, everyone, and welcome back to another installment of Versus, which up until now has been in front of a green screen and between players young or old, but not this time because I'm traveling. And this time we're going to talk about two clubs who have owned the Champions League in recent times, winning a combined 6 out of the last 9 competitions. And yes, we're talking about Barcelona and Real Madrid. But you can't just talk about both clubs overall. Yeah, you gotta be more specific. Yes, a lot more specific, like picking the best season for each of those clubs for the Champions League only. Yeah, for example, I'm gonna pick the Real Madrid squad from this past season because they were just coming off just winning the Champions League the previous year under a brand new manager you might have heard of. His name's Zinedine Zidane, and who were about to embark on a quest that no other team had ever achieved before, and that was to become the first ever back-to-back champions in Champions League history. And to make things even more interesting, and in a very uncharacteristic way for Madrid, there were no huge, big money Galacticos signings coming into the club to help them achieve this goal. That's because they already had a team full of Galacticos. Okay, you know what? I consider it more of a sign that we know how to sign the right players for our team. I mean, how's Arda Turan treating you? Well, since I'm picking the Barcelona squad that won the 2009 Champions League to go up against your 2017 Madrid, he's treating me just fine because he wasn't on it. And what made this 2009 team so special was that they were coming off one of their worst seasons in recent years, if my memory serves me right. They just finished third, which prompted them to fire their manager Frank Rijkaard and bring in the relatively unproven Pep Guardiola, who still had some hair back then, which is pretty cool to see. And right from the start, he had a clear idea of how his team should play, and that meant getting rid of some popular senior players, most notably the great Ronaldinho, who was on Versus not too long ago, to light a fire under everyone else, which was a huge gamble and a big challenge, I think, in his first year in charge. Is getting rid of Ronaldinho and Deco really a gamble when you still have Xavi and Iniesta and Messi and Samuel Eto'o and Thierry Henry and Yaya Touré, and then you sign Piqué and Busquets and Dani Alves in the transfer window? Come on. Yes, of course it's a gamble. Anytime there's a change, you need the players to buy in. So when Pep instilled his possession-first attack and 5-second rule high pressing immediately after they lost the ball as the cornerstone of its defending, because I don't remember their defenders doing too much defending, which included also going small in midfield and fast out wide in the attack, it was a risk. Oh, he says it's a risk. He says it's a risk. No, the real risk was by not making any changes whatsoever, because no one does that anymore, and by trusting some of the young players to pick up any of the slack due to perhaps some lack of motivation that may occur after you've already won the Champions League the season before, like Isco, for instance, who really stepped it up in this competition to prove that he should be starting every game. Yeah, great, good for Isco and his floppy hair, but his performances and Madrid's overall couldn't touch Barcelona's, who, fun fact for you, had to play 2 extra games in the qualifying round just to make it to the group stages. And once they got there, they scored 18 goals in 6 games. They won their group. Then they scored 6 more goals over 2 legs to beat Lyon in the round of 16. Then they had 5 goals against Bayern Munich in the quarterfinals before they had to gut it out against Jose Mourinho's Chelsea 1-1 by going through on Andre Iniesta's great goal at Stamford Bridge. It was magical. So it proved that they could do it both ways. They could score a lot of goals, they could grind it out. And then they faced the defending champions Manchester United in the final, and barring the first 10 minutes of that game when United really took it to them, the next 80 minutes was a masterclass performance in their 2-0 win. Wait. Did I just hear you say masterclass performance? Because even though Madrid didn't get off to a convincing defense of their title, they finished second in their group behind Borussia Dortmund, who they couldn't beat in either group game, which also included giving up a 2-0 lead to Legia Warsaw that led to an entertaining 3-3 draw. They picked it up when it mattered in the knockout rounds. They won 5 straight games, including home and away wins over Napoli in the round of 16 and Bayern Munich in the quarterfinals, and a 3-0 masterclass performance over Atletico Madrid in leg 1 of the semifinals before needing a masterclass move by Karim Benzema in leg 2 to get that all-important road goal against Atleti, and maybe it was poor defending, but it's still a good move, and they held off their feisty neighbors in Madrid. And then despite Mario Mandzukic's incredible goal, which deserves a mention, of course, because it was beautiful, Real Madrid out-masterclassed Juventus and their captain and master of class, Gigi Buffon, to win 4-1 and their back-to-back title. Fine, so we're both awesome, which isn't really that big of a surprise. So I think this needs to be decided by position, and Barcelona's starting 11 at that time was Victor Valdez in goal, Dani Alves, Piqué, Carlos Puyol, and Silvinho in the back. And for a majority of the season in the midfield, it was Busquets. But he also shared time with Yaya Toure, and Rafa Marquez popped in there too. And then there was Xavi and Iniesta, and then up top, it was Messi, Henry, and Eto'o. So come at me, bro. You know I would, but I'm a lover, not a fighter, and that's why I'm doing this in bed. Anyway, we have the underrated Keylor Navas in goal, Dani Carvajal, Sergio Ramos, Varane, and Marcelo in the back. Casemiro, Luka Modric, Toni Kroos in midfield, which is incredibly solid. Then Ronaldo, Bale, but mainly Isco in this competition, and Benzema in the attack. So by my count, we have the better goalkeeper, a better center back in Sergio Ramos, and let's say that's over Piqué because I have a lot of respect for Puyol. And then definitely a better left back in Marcelo. And I'd say Luka Modric would tip Iniesta at this point, and Casemiro definitely did more than Busquets ever did. And Cristiano Ronaldo over Thierry Henry. So that gives us 6 better players out of the 11 to your 5. Yeah, I'll give you 5. 5? Only 5? I think you're getting my Barcelona squad from 8 years ago confused with the Barcelona squad you're seeing now, because given what you just said, that means you're only giving me Puyol over Varane, Dani Alves over Carvajal, Xavi over Toni Kroos, Messi over Bale, and Eto'o over Benzema, which I agree with, of course, but I think Victor Valdez was just as underrated as Navas. And Valdez only gave up 13 goals in the Champions League this year, or in 2009, to Navas's 18 last season. And Iniesta from 8 years ago was way better than Luka Modric from last season. What? So you're saying you had 7 better players in the squad that became the first ever team to repeat as champions? Yes, because the core of this Barcelona team became the first team to ever win 6 trophies in a calendar year in 2009, so you can suck it. Suck what? This is about the Champions League only, so don't try to make this about everything else to win over everyone in the comments. You know what? That's something a loser says when they know they can't win. All right, I'm gonna stop it right here. So what do you guys think? Who has the better squad? Let me know in the comments below, and then, like always, let me know who you want to see on the next Versus. Later.